Everybody out there, this is Seto, and today for you guys I'm going to be profiling for you my train deck. As many of you guys know, and probably know if you've been subscribed to my channel for a long time, I actually love trains, and I mean real life trains. Growing up I loved Thomas the Tank Engine, and Thomas the Tank Engine was my hero, but I'm so happy that this deck is actually pretty good, and I'm happy all the support came out because I've been playing this deck online for a long time, and I'm so happy all the support is finally here. So trains, if you don't know by now, are a rank 10 archetype that mainly focus around Dora, the Exceed card, which is very, very good, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But they're a rank 10 base deck, which can also function as a beatdown type of deck, which we'll get into more. But you have your one of your main cards, which is Knight Express Knight. When he is normal summoned, you can he halves his attack, I believe, goes down to 0, but that's all you care about because he's a rank 10 machine Earth. So we run him, and then we run 3 Dare Crane, which is your other main train that you run. Dare Crane states that when another Earth-type monster, so good example here, what you go for your Exceeds is you go 1 Knight Express Knight, then you go Special Summon Dare Crane, then Dare Crane, you know, loses his attack and whatnot, and then you go to a rank 10 and go into Dora the Explorer. So that's what you do there. That's how you go for your main rank 10 plays there. But Dare Crane also states that when it's detached, you can pop a card on your opponent's side of the field, which is really nice to do. So 3 Dare Crane, very good card. Next, I run 3 Ruffian Railcar. The only reason you run Ruffian Railcar is for its search effect. So during the in phase that was sent to the graveyard, you can add 1 level 10 Earth Machine type monster to from your deck to your hand. His other effect is you can do 500 burn damage, but you can't attack that turn. It's just not good. You never really want to draw this card. You mainly want to, I guess you could say, special summon it from your deck off Switchyard. Because Switchyard states, if an Earth level 10 monster is no more special summoned to the field, you can activate this effect. Your opponent takes no battle damage for the rest of the turn. Also, you can special summon 1 level 4 Earth monster, machine, type monster with 1800 attack, which is this card right here as I'm talking about, from your deck, and if you do, it becomes a level 10. So you can use Switchyard's effect, bring this out, normal summon an Express Knight or Dare Crane, and go for a rank 10 that way. You don't want to draw this card. But it's such a good card still, because the fact of the matter is, it gets you searches. So 3 Ruffian Railcar, and you find yourself going through Ruffian Railcar very quickly, like send it to the graveyard. So sometimes you do run out of targets, but whatever. Next we run for your Shaddoll engine, because this is Shaddoll trains. We run 2 Beast. Beast is kind of like your mini draw engine for the deck. It's one of the best Shaddoll monsters. The ratio here is what I've been seeing a lot of train players playing, as well as what's been working for me as I've been testing this deck online. But 2 Shaddoll Beast. Then we run 2 Shaddoll Squamata. Shaddoll Beast, if you guys don't know Shaddolls, it's pretty much your draw power. Squamata is very good as well. I was debating running 2 Squamata, but I also decided to run 2 Squamata and 2 Hedgehog as well to incur losses. Because Hedgehog can really help search for your Shaddoll Fusion, which is really necessary in the deck. You don't have to, I mean, you could get away with 1 Hedgehog, but Hedgehog's too good, I feel like, because you can search out for your combo plays with Shaddoll Fusion. Then I went for my 1 Dragon and 1 Falco. I was going to add another Dragon, but I found that 1 Dragon was good because you could pop cards, and 1 Falco was good because you could set it and then flip it up and do your old Falco plays, which you used to use with Construct. Just reborn things back like dead Shaddoll monsters, your Shikanaga, whatever the case may be, and go for a rank 10 that way sometimes. So that's what we did there. Then for your other cards, you run 2 Max C. Max C is pretty good in a combo, a meta where everything is special summon, special summon. It's just a good card overall, and I do like the 2 Max C in the deck. You could run Effect Veil if you want, but I prefer Max C. Then we run the main field spell card, which is probably one of the best field cards one of the best field spell cards out there in today's game, and that's Revolving Switchyard. I'll read you the effect fully. I did mention it briefly. So, like I said earlier, you can, if an Earth level 10 machine type monster is no more special summon, you can special summon Ruffian Railcar from your deck. Also, it states, and if you do, it becomes a rank 10. You can send 1 card from your hand to your graveyard and add 1 level 10 Earth machine type monster from your deck to your hand. So even if you draw Ruffian Railcar, for example, you can still discard it, get a search, get 2 double searches off that turn, and you're pretty good to go. So it's really good either way, but I prefer like trying to have Ruffian Railcar in the graveyard, because the fact of the matter is sometimes you discard other cards that you don't need at the time with Revolving Switchyard. So, for example, that's the reason why I don't run just 3 Revolving Switchyard and 1 Terraforming. I run double Terraforming, because the fact of the matter is you can pitch it off Revolving Switchyard and still get a search off of it, which is nice. So you could run 3 Terraforming. I've seen people do that, but 3 was just way too much for me when I was trying it, because I had a couple of hands I was doing in practice testing where I'm just like, holy Moses, I got 2 of these and 1 of these and something weird in my opening hand. And yes, you could get out of it, but it was just a waste of economical resources, where I prefer those other cards to be more versatile cards. So I cut Terraforming down to 2 and Revolving Switchyard to 3 still, because it's that important to the deck. You need to get your Revolving Switchyard out very quickly to get your plays going. Next, you run your 3 Shaddoll Fusion. It's a great card in the deck. Your main Shaddoll you probably go for is your Shikanaga. You also go for Winda. And you can go for a Noyatelis if you want to, because I do run that, because you do run Shaddoll Core. So yeah, 3 Shaddoll Fusion helps you go for your Shaddoll Fusion monsters, because like I said, you got Shikanaga, which is your main one, because it's a rank 10 Earth that can help you go into your Dora and your Gustavus Max and your other rank 10s. You also run your Winda, and I do run the one at Noyatelis because of Core. So your 3 Shaddoll Fusions. Next, I run a card that not a lot of people are running, but I've been testing it out and I like it. So I may leave, that was a loud noise, I may leave this as a 1 of in the deck, I may cut it, I may keep it at 2 of. It's pretty much a Monster Reborn-esque card for, I guess you could say, the trains, because you can add a level 10 machine-type monster back to your hand. So I'll read you the card's effect. Target 1 machine-type monster in your graveyard with 3,000 or more attack. So mainly that's going to be Night Express Knight is your main target, which is your main playmaker of the deck, really, at the end of the day. Special summon that target in face-up defense position. You can only activate 1 special schedule once per turn. If this card is set and it's destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you can target 1 level 10 monster in your graveyard, add that target to your hand, which sometimes I do, but what it does mainly is it helps you go for other rank 10 exceeds. So I've had situations where I'm like, okay, I get Night Express Knight out, I get another card out, I maybe go for a Shikanaga, and then I go for a big exceed play, or whatever. Like I attack with Shikanaga, go for a rank 10, things of that nature. It depends, but I do like the 2 special schedule right now. I may cut it down to 1 of and run a card which I want to run 2 of really in the deck is 2 Forbidden Chalice. So I may cut this down to 1 of and add a 2nd Forbidden Chalice in, which you'll see in a second. But still testing it out. I do like it as a 1 of, especially in the deck. 2 of, I'm still testing it. So please understand that. Next one for Forbidden Chalice. Like I said, I'll probably bump this up to 2 of, but I'm still testing. It's a really good card, because the fact of the matter is, the reason that trains were so good in the OCG, a year or 2 ago, was the fact of the matter of skill drain. And skill drain's at 1 for us. So Forbidden Chalice is kind of like a semi-skill drain. This card gets boofed, it loses its effect. So pretty much what it does with Night Express Knight and with Dara Crane as well, you can pretty much go, okay, I target my Night Express Knight. He no longer has the effect where he loses attack, so now he's at 3,000 attack. And on top of that, he gains 400 attack. His effect's gone for the turn, so he's just a big 3,000 plus beat stick. So, oops, sorry about that, guys. That's why we run the 1 Forbidden Chalice. I tried it as a 2 of, it got kind of cloggy, but I may bump it up to 2 of. I don't know yet. Next, we run 1 Limit Removal, 1 Foolish Burial, 1 Upstart Goblin, and 1 Soul Charge. So, let me go over the reasons why I run these cards here. Soul Charge helps you go for big combo plays, big, huge rank 10 boards. You name it, it can do it. And that's why you run the Soul Charge. You're sending cards to the graveyard very often, so the fact of the matter is, you're going to have big boards. Upstart Goblin gives consistency. Foolish Burial for your Shaddoll monster, so you can get the Shaddoll monster effects. Pretty good. Send things to the graveyard. Limit Removal. Awesome, awesome, awesome little tech in this card that I've tried out and I've heard about. So, what you do is you go for Dora the Explorer, or number 18 Dora. 81, excuse me, not 18. I'm looking at it upside down. Number 81 Dora. And the thing is with Dora, you can target herself, okay, to protect herself. So she can attack, and she'll be a 6,400 beater, which I did this online one day. So she'll be a huge beater. She can attack, and then where the effect of limit removal said you would have to destroy the monsters that you destroy, you know, that were affected by this, Dora would not get destroyed because you can target herself and protect herself, pretty much. That's how that works. So limit removal is like literally an OTK card in this deck. You inflict burn damage, maybe go for Gustav Max. I mean, there's different plays you can do with limit removal. You go for Gustav Max, burn, attack, whatever the case may be. Very, very good. For your 1-out traps, we run 1 Shaddoll Core, 1 Skill Drain, and 1 Vanity's Emptiness. Vanity's Emptiness, you make huge, big monsters. You protect those monsters. I mean, you protect your monsters pretty much. You know, you get big boards out, lock your opponent out of special summoning so they don't have a way of getting out of it. Skill Drain, you have huge beat stakes like Night Express Knight, and you can have that on the field, and Skill Drain shuts their effects off so they don't lose their effects. They don't get their effects of where their attack is halved or whatever. So, big beaters. Shaddoll Core helps you go for Nelway Tillis and just all your other Shaddoll monsters. So that's why we run the Shaddoll Core, which I still like in the deck. Then I lastly run the Solemn Brigade, which is 1 Solemn Warning and 2 Solemn Strike. You can run more Solemn Warning if you wanted to, play around with the ratios, but this is the preference I have for the Solemn Brigade. 2 Solemn Strikes and 1 Warning. Pretty straightforward. Apologize for the dog barking in the background. Onto the extra deck now. We run 2 Dora the Explorer, number 81 Dora. May bump this up to 3 of, but I like it as a 2 of. So it's a very good card. You can target itself, protect itself. The problem with this deck, the real problem with this deck, and the problem with Dora is because its main play is Dora. There's something called Kaijus, and Kaijus can easily get over your number monsters. So if your opponent's already citing Kaijus for other matches and they run into you, and if they Kaiju you, it's not a good feeling. That's why I like running the one schedule, a special schedule. The card I was talking about earlier, this card here, is because, say for example, they Kaiju you. Well, your trains go to the graveyard. Maybe you have another rank 10 you draw into, or you have in your hand, and you have, you know, something going on. Well, you can just go, okay, special schedule, we born this card, and now I have normal summon another level 10 train, and now I can go for another Dora. Maybe they only drew 1 Kaiju, maybe they only sided in 2 Kaiju, but now, even though you were set back a turn, you still can prevail, you still can put some effort out, because the problem I've seen with a lot of players, when they get a Kaiju dropped on them, it's game. There's nothing they can do. But I like this deck because the fact of the matter is I can maybe go for another rank 10 monster or something, you know, if that happens. I don't have to just curl up and die. So that's what I was trying to figure with this deck. I'm still testing it, still working it, but yeah. 2 Dora. Next one, 2 Gustavus Max. You really only need 1. You only need 1, but I have, once in a while, had the ability to go for 2 Gustavus Max in a duel, and I just like it, because sometimes it does come in handy. Especially if they're a stall, burn type of deck, or whatever the case may be. I've been running into lately. I don't know why. But 2 Gustavus Max, I may cut it down to 1, but there's really not that many good rank 10s out there besides Dora and some of the Spider Engine, which I'm about to talk about. So next I run the Spider Engine, which is a very cool little engine. So Spider Engine came out Premium Gold this past year. Return of the Bling, whatever it was called. So this card, you go for this card, which is a rank. You just need 2 rank 10s. Then you can either go for number 48 or number 77, 7 Sins. Number 77 is a 4,000 beater, which protects itself pretty much in a nutshell. This card here is pretty dang good in its own right, as I'll read its text, which it's mainly about. It said this card get where's the effect? Once per turn, you can detach 1 XC real from this card. Destroy all face-up monsters your opponent controls with defense less than or equal to this card. That's where I like this card a lot, because the fact of the matter is, you can literally just destroy things. So it can win you games in that fashion. So, yeah. I like these 2 because that way you have the ability to go in these 2. There's not that many good rank 10s, so that's why we're doing that. This is pretty much just a playmaker to go into these 2, because you can overlay with them. Next up, we run for your last rank 10, I believe. Yeah, our last rank 10. 1 Sky Palace, Gundiva. You don't really ever go into this. Like I said, there's not that many good rank 10s, really, but this card's just a burn card with the 3,400 body that is a machine type attribute. So you could use this and even use it with sometimes limit removal, where I've done, just if I run out of trains or whatever, it's there in case you need it. It's just there, so please understand that. For your Shaddoll engine, I run 3 Shaddoll Shikanaga. You don't need to run 3, you only usually need 2. However, I have come into situations where I want 3. Every couple of duels, I'm like, oh, I wish I had a 3rd Shikanaga. It'd be really good right now. So I run 3 because I have extra deck space to run it. I'm not running anything else really, so I just run 3 of them. You don't have to though. You only really need 2, but 3 is in there if you want to, if you have space and you can do it. Unless you want to put like a Norden in and run for some synchro plays and things of that nature. Yeah, unless you want to put some synchros in because you do have the 1 Falco tuner. So that's up to you as a player to decide what you want to do on that aspect. Then I run my 2 Winda, which is pretty staple as a Winda as 2 of. Good card, causes your opponent to lock them out of plays, things of that nature. And then lastly, we run the 1 Annoyatilis because we run Shaddoll Core. Annoyatilis is okay. The main reason we run Annoyatilis is because against certain matchups out there, it's a really, really good card. So I do like it, and the ability to go with it with Shaddoll Core is really nice. So I do like the 1 Shaddoll Annoyatilis. So guys, that is the train deck. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. I know that was a very quick deck profile considering how long I really take. So yeah, in a nutshell, the deck's really good. It's pretty cheap, except for the Shaddoll cards, which have gone up in price recently. It's a very solid deck. It's a very cheap deck for the most part. The train engine, that is. The Shaddoll engine, like I said, is a little bit more expensive. But it's a very solidly built deck, and I know a lot of people out there have been waiting to play this deck for a long time, and I'm just so happy it's out here. Granted, kaijus and things of that nature are a thing. I think the deck is just a little bit been power creeped. But overall, if your opponent's not prepared for this deck, they will have problems against it. But guys, till next time, take care, have fun dueling, good luck dueling, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care, everybody. And go trains. Choo-choo!